we're back. Episode 201.
Wow, here we
the
are.
Conscious Cowboys. Madison and my fucking girl Tess. What's up?
Thank God Madison is able to talk today. I'm like having a hard time kickstarting this.
Yeah, I was like, we need to introduce it. I thought that today when I was in the bathroom. I was like, welcome back to the Conscious Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
You have Madison.
And Tess.
That's right. How's it going, everyone?
We're having a good day over here.
That's good.
Aren't you?
My voice rose. That's good. I'm like, yeah, it's really great.
Before we dive into the
It's been productive. Yeah.
This past week.
It was a rocky road.
Yeah,
it was a very rocky road. And also, actually, that's good that you brought that up because we used to do this before our hiatus is what is the theme for this week?
Mm.
And you can start this, you're probably listening to this on a very random day, but why not start it now? I do this every Sunday night in my journal. How do I want this week to look? Not necessarily with regard to events, but what's the theme? What's the vibe? What am I calling in? Anything. I feel like it should have that noise. What was that? Jeopardy or something? That's even way before our time, but we all know what that is.
I would say, this is so on the spot, but I would say my chosen theme for the week is going to be direction. Like knowing which direction I'm going to go in, being able to make decisions.
Okay, great.
It's been a week of like a lot of options and opportunity, and I want to be able to quiet my mind down. Like I feel like when I do have a moment to myself, my brain is going really fast through all the things I need to purchase or decisions I need to make. And what a privilege to be able to have these options in front of me, but I want to just be able to choose and then go with it.
Okay. So focus, direction. Mm-hmm. Okay.
What about you?
Decisive. That's fitting for you. Okay, so mine it's been carried over from last week. So last week I had this objective. Also this week I have the same objective because I feel like I didn't quite hit it last week. So I was like, you know what, let's just like bring it back around. We'll recycle it. So saying yes to life. And like Tess said, last week was a rocky road, really ebbing and flowing up in here. And it's hard, in my opinion, to say yes to life when things feel difficult and challenging. You want to, or I want to, at least I want to resist. And maybe sometimes I want to soothe things by trying to get myself out of my reality, but I want to say yes to life and be present. And even if I'm presented with obstacles, I want to take them head on and be like, all right, I'm here. This doesn't feel awesome, but I'm doing it. Like, this is what life's about. And a reminder that even when it feels challenging, like a reminder to me is like, these are just building blocks for the next level. Like I'm asking for all these things and this is getting me there. Even if I don't like the process, I'm like, all right, I'm going to come out on the other side. Like I'm going to keep moving and persevering. Mm-hmm. So saying yes to life, I'll also, with the addition of abundance and faith, like I keep writing this over and over in my journal for the last like week, is faith in the unknown, faith in myself, and faith in what is written, like what's coming. So that's my answer. It's my theme.
Very nicely put.
Thank you.
And I would also say that to go along with what you just mentioned, a big part of our learning lesson, and probably for you as a listener too, is to be softer with yourself when you don't feel like you're hitting your objective or your theme of the week. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, my theme of the week is to be a yes. But then in some moments throughout that week, it's going to feel like a fuck no.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's going to feel like you are digging your heels into the mud and not moving an inch. And so being soft with yourself throughout that transition is going to help you with your overall like forward momentum.
Yeah, it's true. No, that's a good reminder because that's why I'm carrying it into this week, because I'm like, it didn't quite hit it last week. I did a good job though for what I was presented with, I think, for the most part. So yeah, just
It's like
moving
when
on.
Madison would get back up, someone come and like kick her in the back of the knee.
And
she's like, whoa,
I'm like,
my.
whoa, where did that come from? Oh
Okay.
my God.
All right.
Okay.
Hold on.
Hold on. I'm going to
Let me get my
up.
bearings.
Exactly.
I'm going to try again. I'm going to stand up even taller this time. And she stands up and then it's like.
Straight up, dude. If you don't laugh, you'll cry, right?
But
that's so funny. It reminds me of Wedding Crashers when Vince Vaughn is like, oh, how can I get this out? He's like, step on my head when I'm drowning. Dude. If you have not seen Wedding Crashers, turn this off right now and watch it.
Also, Madison and I's entire dialogue between each other is just 90% movie quotes. Yeah. No, but I feel like we were laughing earlier because I'll loop you guys in. Like, we're having to move, and Philip and I have found our place, and Madison's still on the hunt.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this one place that she actually really likes. I mean, up until this point, it's been a bunch of no's. So then there's this one place she really likes, and she's like, I'll be fucking sad if I don't get it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I get that. But Philip was always really stern on me of like, you can't get your hopes up. And I'd be like, no, I'm definitely not. But then behind the scenes, I'm like,
yeah, of course. I'm like, the idea of it would be so sick.
Yeah. And, I forget kind of where I was going with that. So that's cool. But I think just in general, we were laughing because, oh God, Madison, what do we think was so funny about it?
I don't
This
know.
is a horrible story. You're welcome. We're going to have to cut
Wait,
this
I
whole
was like,
thing
what?
out.
No, we're not. What were we laughing about? We were laughing about me getting pushed when I'm trying to stand up really tall. And I don't know what else.
Oh my God, I lost my train of thought. That's really scary when that happens.
Yeah, that's okay. We were laughing too hard. All right.
Anyways, that's a horrible place to leave you guys off at.
Well, it's
now I'm insecure about it.
No, we're not. We're going to get on with what this episode's actually about.
Let's do it.
Side note is that for some reason, there are like things that I will latch on to like every week or so that I like hear that I think are funny. And for some reason, this is probably not going to hit with a lot of people, but you know how like sometimes we're in traffic or like someone does a lame move and they'll cut you off and we're like, no worries. So now I don't know why one of Kelly's, my cousin Kelly, famous on the podcast, one of her friends, she was like, yeah, I'm going to yoga. And then her friend was just like, namaste, babe. And now I say that for everything. Namaste, babe. Because it's so passive aggressive that I think it's funny. I'm like, it's so fake. Like I would never say babe or namaste in any serious tone. So I'm just like, namaste, babe.
It reminds me of my old boss.
Yes, exactly. And then it reminds me of her. And I think that's even funnier because she was so passive aggressive. Like babe at the end of anything that's mean. Yeah, just go ahead and do that, babe. I'm like, okay, just don't say babe because it sounds like you're saying fuck you. Okay.
God.
So,
that really brings me back to that episode where you had, don't call me babe.
That's right. That's a good one. Okay. All right. So episode 201, that's what we're on right now. It's about our dear old dads. And I think
that just, wait, yeah, we just had a huge horn honk. Dear old dad reminds me of Parent Trap.
Oh, that's such a good movie. We should watch that soon.
And obviously, I always wanted to be the one with the hot dad in Napa.
Oh my God. An amazing story.
I'm like, yeah, the mom's really cool.
Yeah, she lives in London,
yeah.
whatever. Who cares?
No, but riding horses.
On property in Napa? And the dad's a hottie? And the house is
amazing. But you wouldn't think your own
dad.
dad's
No, of course not. But you'd be like, my dad's sick. And then what is her name? Chessie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you kidding?
Which I always thought was Jessie with a J, but then we watched it with subtitles and it said Chessie with CH. And I was like,
oh no.
Oh.
I've been saying it wrong my whole life.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. Well, dear old dads.
Dear old dad.
So I had the idea for this episode because I was walking with a friend in Cardiff and there was a car that drove by and he was like, did you just see that car? And I was like, I'm my father's daughter. Of course I saw that car. Like any nice car, I know. And it was a Grenadier. It's the cars that look like Land Rovers.
Yes.
So tight. So I was like, oh my God, how sick would it be to do a episode that's a nod to our fathers and the life lessons that they've taught us? Because we both spent a lot of time. And not to say we love our moms, of course. We have equally amazing moms. But there's something about a dad. I don't know. There's something about a dad. Obviously, they're different. So, yeah. life lessons and all the above.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note here too that we're both very close with our dads and we feel really
Yes.
lucky. And so if you're going to listen to this episode and you're like, I don't have a close relationship with my dad, that's okay.
Yes.
That's okay. And
we're extending our lessons on to you.
Yes. And you can call our dad your dad.
That's right. They're sick. Mark is Tess's dad. Greg is my dad.
Okay, so let's talk about Mark and Greg.
Yeah.
You ready? They're both the most incredible people ever.
They really are.
They have adopted, like my dad has adopted Madison, and like Madison like kind of lived with us at one point, and then Greg has kind of adopted me. And like we say, I love you. It's like the full thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, yes, Greg is it. Mark is it.
Yeah. Like Tessa's dad calls me Maddie Waddy.
Yeah.
And it's the cutest thing ever. I'm like, I'm not a person for nicknames, but if Mark calls me that, it's fine.
It's all good.
Yeah. I'm like, please call me it. Yeah.
So the life lessons they've taught us, it's not like kitschy quotes. Like there's nothing that like I write on my mirror.
No, like my dad. So I had asked him when I was thinking about this episode, and I was like, okay, Dad, if you think of life lessons that you've taught me, you know, share them with me. I would love to know. I have a lot written down, but if you have something new, great. And then he starts listing off these quotes, and I'm like, okay, that's not actually from you. Like, no, I don't want that. Yeah, I was like, pump the brakes. No. So, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I feel like mine is just like I've really learned to appreciate my dad and his character. And I try to see what I've learned from him and how that's played out in me. So I feel like I'm going to share those things.
Yes. Yeah. I was lucky enough to just spend a lot of time with my dad, like dirt bike riding. And I looked up to him. And even now, if I'm having a hard time, I will call him. He's like my best friend. And he just like is a mentor to me. So the way he looks at life, I really value. And that's why we wanted to share.
All right. Kick us off.
Okay. Well, first thing, which this is one that I need a reminder of actually every day. And it's not worrying about the things that I can't control. So my dad, every time I call him if I'm having a challenging week, last week, with a whole list of things like, okay, Dad, but hear me out. This is challenging because this is happening and this is happening and this. And he's like, okay, let's just think about this. All of these things, we put them on a to-do list. Which ones can you check off that you can control? And I'm like, okay, that's really good advice. Actually, none of them. And he's like, okay. So then I will couple this with something that my yoga teacher on Saturday says, Ryan, and he's a dad, so technically this counts, and this is very reassuring to me, is we put forth our best effort and lay the rest to the feet of God or to a higher power, whoever you believe in. And I'm like, that is what I like couple with this not worrying about things that you can't control.
Yeah.
Because I do put forth best effort, and most of us do, and the rest is not up to our control. Like I cannot control every outcome of every situation.
And as my boss, who's not a dad, she's a mom, as she always says, she's like, and thank God, right? Thank God we don't have control over all these things. Yes.
I know.
So just take a little moment of peace and knowing that it's not all up to you. So hands off the wheel a little bit.
Yeah, I know. I always say that, like when I'm riding, I'm like, take your grip off the reins a little bit. I don't need to grip onto outcomes so much, because that just leads to disappointment, doesn't it? Not all the time.
It can.
But like if you're too rigid in it, because it's like, why not just be open to every single possibility, even if it's a not so great possibility? Yeah. So again, put forth your best effort, lay the rest at the feet of a higher power.
Love that. Okay. A big one that I've picked up from Mark, Dad.
What's up, Mark?
Is to be really forgiving of people, because even if they meant harm in their actions, it harms you longer by holding the grudge. So like I'm reflecting on my dad's past, and like even before I was even born, there are so many people that have done him dirty, done him wrong. And I don't want to say that he welcomes them back into his life with open arms, but he can easily look this person in the eye and say, hello, and have a conversation with them, and he doesn't feel this intense wave of anger or I don't know, like he always steps up and is the bigger person and releases any grudge. Like he doesn't forget what people have done to him, which I think is important, right? You know,
yeah,
hey,
of course. Yeah.
I'm keeping you at arm's length, but he doesn't go to the extent of like getting reworked up when he recounts a story of someone doing him dirty. And like I've seen it time and time again where I am naturally holding a grudge onto something and he's like, it doesn't matter. It's all good. Just let it go. What am I going to be mad at this person for the rest of my life? Do you know how much wear and tear that causes on my mind and my body? No, it's not worth it. Like we're all going to, so what am I'm going to enjoy my time more by not holding on to this.
No, that's definitely a skill. Yeah. I agree with that as well. Because it's also just like releasing it. I'm like, I don't need to hold on to this. You know how many other things I have on my to-do list? Like worrying about this one thing, like I release this from me. A gift, honestly. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, another thing, and this is definitely not one my dad sent me, but this is just through observation, is not bragging about your accomplishments. And my dad is a big one on this, is he just like shows himself and like all the good he's done and his success just through action. And I love that about him. Just a very humble man. And I appreciate that. That's why I always think I'm like, it would be so sick to just like crush it. And then all of a sudden you roll up to Christmas in a Porsche. You don't tell anyone. They walk outside and they're like, Madison, when did you get this Porsche? And I'm like, last week, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something about like being humble that I really value.
Yeah, nothing's worse than someone who talks their own game up.
Yeah, and
Like,
they're just
you
like
have to
very loud with it.
You have to have a certain level of confidence,
Of
for
course.
sure. But then if you're being boastful, that's a completely different thing.
Yeah, like not having to prove yourself. Yeah, I don't know what it is exactly, but it's just like a character thing where I'm like, oh my God, the way that he like holds himself, but he just like is so intelligent and so successful. And I feel like that just like speaks louder than him actually saying it. Like, hey, look at me. Like, look at me. I'm a shiny toy too. Yeah. Over here. Like, okay, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. And maybe that comes from like a deep confidence that he has where he can like recognize all those things within himself and he doesn't need someone to validate that. And maybe that's what I like. Yeah. That probably is what I like because that's like a huge thing for me is like, or a theme in my life is to validate myself versus rely on others, which is challenging. And again, bringing that up to like the dating thing.
Oh,
why are your eyes watering?
I miss our dads, dude.
Okay. I was like, oh my God, she's crying.
No, I'm just thinking about like how cool they are. And then we don't get to see them that often. And it fucking tears me up. Okay.
I literally talk to my dad every day on the phone. Like I call him every single day.
I know.
Yeah.
But then I also think, fuck, this is so messed up. But like, it's true. How much longer do you get to do that for? And then like every day is so important.
I know.
And please move to San Diego.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Not only am I looking for places, I'm looking for places for my dad.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Dad,
like, can you downsize like heavily?
I will get an ADU just for you. Please.
That's why we have to build the compound so that we can build ADUs on our property for our dads. Like, come on.
Moms will
be fine.
No, well, I guess it depends on where my mom is and who she's dating. Hey,
yeah,
Mom.
That's right. My mom's married. She's got a house. It's fine.
Yeah. On that note, but kind of like the other side of the coin is my dad has really taught me that you don't need a lot to be happy. And so I feel like my dad has always worked really hard for everything he has in his life. And there's been a couple moments throughout history where it's like, and now that's gone and we don't have much. And how do we pick ourselves up every single day? And like my dad is one of the most smiley people on earth. I will cry.
Dude, he is so happy. Mark is the best. I mean, come on, for someone to make him a nickname like Maddie Waddy, you have to be like so precious.
But he like just proves that you don't need a whole lot to be happy. I don't think I'm good right now. I think I miss my dad.
I cry once a day.
I need to put sunglasses on, I think.
You can get mine. They're in my kitchen or in my bathroom.
I'm just the only one sitting here with sunnies on. That would be a
People
bad
are
look.
like, is she high?
No, I'm not. I just miss my dad.
I get it.
But yeah, he, like, if you guys were to go into his home, you'd be like, oh my God, this man is a crack up. Like he doesn't own anything bougie. He has had the same beat up truck for as long as I can remember. This man does not have much to his name at all. And he's like truly one of the most like naturally content people. And of course, would he like more? Yes. Do I wish I could give him more? Yes. But he is like, the happiest thing in the world for him is being able to see his children. And like that to me is so cool. That like, that's all you really need.
Yeah.
It's like your little family.
It's true. That's so rare. Yeah. Special. Cute.
Every time I cry on the podcast, which is like pretty often, I just
it's like
think
every episode.
It takes me so long to come back down. Like I wipe my nose a bunch, my eyes, and I just don't feel cute at all.
No, you look great.
When you cry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Next one, and this is not a very sexy one, but I'll just say it, is start saving for retirement as young as possible.
Okay.
And to take care of your investments, your car, your clothes, all of it.
Yeah, like take pride in them and look after them and don't just thrash your shit.
Yeah, because they can really end up being timeless and you end up saving money in the long run. Like my dad's finances are on lock and I am inspired by that. And there's a few things that I need to tie up, but for the most part, I've had an Excel sheet with regard to my finances since I was 18 years old because my dad always sends it to me. He's like, are you looking at the Excel sheet? You need to know your expenses. And I'm like, all right, now I work as an accountant. I know what that actually means. Okay, we got this. So not a sexy one, but it does set you up.
A huge key to success.
Yes, and financial stability really contributes to wellness as a person. I swear, because it's nothing worse than feeling like you're stressed about money. And I know that not all of us have the privilege to do so, and having an Excel sheet and putting your expenses in each month is very helpful. If you're just beginning, now I can do it in my mind where I'm like, okay, I spent this much at the market. Okay, don't buy this shirt from Reformation today.
No kidding.
Okay, you have to buy silverware for your new place. Maybe don't buy, I don't know. Maybe don't buy your $30 salmon. But do I buy it? I do buy it. Of course
you do because it's your
nutrition. It has to do with health. Yeah.
Yeah.
I spend big bucks on that. Or like grocery store, specifically Jimbo's. I fund the grocery store basically.
The guy knows her by name. He calls her my favorite customer.
Legit. He does. My favorite customer. I'm
he yells
like,
it.
great.
Everyone in the store turns around. I'm like, even I'm shocked. I'm like, whoa,
like,
you like her that
God.
much because you buy salmon every day? Crazy.
Yeah. It is actually crazy. Yeah. So anyway, that's that.
Okay. I like that one. That's one that I need more of in my life.
I feel like you do a good job.
Yeah, no. We're good. But I definitely don't have my Excel sheet going. I just like have it in my head of like, these are my monthly expenses. Yeah. And I know what comes in. I know what goes out.
Well, that's good.
But tracking it would probably be a better.
If you think it would be, my dad has he'll send it to you.
Okay.
Yeah. Now he has an advisor and he, which goals. I want someone to invest in things for me. I don't want to have to learn that. That's a cool thing to learn. But I don't want to have to do that. I'm like, I'd rather just focus on other things. Please put my money where it will be utilized best. Thank you, please.
Yeah, that's okay. It's called knowing your strengths. And
that's
an
right.
Old boss of mine,
I just don't want that.
An old boss of mine was really big on that. She's like, you don't have to be good at everything. You just got to know your strengths.
That's so helpful to me.
And so
go ahead.
Yeah, but you knowing that your strength is not necessarily in money management when it comes to where to invest it.
Yeah,
your strength is in making the money somewhere else. Then.
That's okay.
Do that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So there's that one.
Another one that my dad has really taught me is just to be really generous. Generous with
Starts
my
crying.
time. No. I'm reeling it in. I don't know what happened. It was like this wave. I also think my dad has the flu right now. And if my dad's not doing good, I mean, we talk every single day, like most of the day we're texting, but I just feel like he's like this little kid stuck at home right now. Like he's like, I'm throwing up.
And who's taking care of him?
He doesn't want anyone taking care of him because it's my grandma and she's 90.
Yeah, you don't want to
very
get her
soon.
sick.
Yeah, and he's like, stay away. But I'm like, oh, I think of like my little dad right now. He's like a little kid, like when your dad got sick at the conference.
Yeah, it's sad for them.
And I'm like, no, I want to be there to help.
I know.
But to be generous in as many ways as you can be, like I said, even if my dad has like virtually nothing to give, he gives it. And it's something that I think is really honorable and I love about him, because I can tell that it makes him happy to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's the other side of it too, where I do this as well, where you're like, I know you don't have anything left to give, so please stop giving and give back to yourself.
Yeah, that's you. Like, you need to fill up
yes,
your
him
own
too.
tank.
I'm like, hey, you've got stuff that you need to get done too. Don't go and help this person for 4 days and then return
this
back.
is a good, he's your mirror then.
He is my mirror.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we recognize that, you can put intention towards altering that behavior a little bit.
Yeah, let's try.
Yeah, you're doing it. Okay, the next one, I have like literally a list from my dad that he sent me. And I'm like, these are solid, Dad. Okay, actually, you can speak on one of them, but I'll do it the next go round. The importance of follow-up. Okay, this is a big one. I've gotten a lot of jobs based off of following up. And yes, it's a little annoying at first, probably to the employer or whoever you're following up with, but it's always worth it. Just keep yourself at the top of people's mind. Follow up with this place that I want. I could not help it. And I messaged them today. I saw them on Sunday and I was like, hey, just want to know, have you chosen a tenant yet? Hopefully I'm still in consideration. Didn't mean to bug you. And she loved it. She's like, you're still very much in consideration. I was like, hell yeah. Not only do I have peace of mind now, for the most part, sort of, I feel better. I'm like, she's thinking like, oh my God, Madison's on top of it. She really wants this place. She followed up. Yeah.
It shows the person that has the thing you want that you're serious about it, but then it also gives you peace of mind that even if it doesn't pan out to be the outcome that you wanted, that you put your best effort
That's
in.
right. Put
So
your
you
best
can
effort
go-
in and
yes.
lay the rest at the feet of God.
Yes.
That's what's up. It all comes around to that.
You need to be able to go to bed at night going like, well, if they didn't choose me, that was for a reason that was outside of my control. I know I did everything
Like
I
I controlled everything that I could. Yeah. That's right.
looping it back in.
That's right. It all comes together, doesn't it?
This one kind of goes in line with the generosity, but you don't always have to give. Like, my family's not big on like gift giving, but how can you provide like more acts of service? So my dad, his way of giving to everybody is like through helping. Like, how can I be there for you? Whether that's an ear to listen, like he will talk to his friends on the phone for hours. And I'm like, what is that about? And he's like, oh, so-and-so. And he'll divulge the whole story to me. I'm like, wow. Okay. So he'll be an ear to listen. He'll be hands on deck when you need him most. Like, I just feel like my dad is the most like reliable act of service person that I've ever seen.
He
like,
hustles.
he will be there.
No, it's so true.
Doesn't even matter what time of the night. Like, he'll show up for you.
Yeah. And that makes sense because he's like you, where he's the helper. Yeah. What was that test that we took a while ago that distinguished us as those types?
Yeah, I don't know. It was like a personality type
God,
test.
we were really into those for a second. It gave us content for episodes.
It did.
It did.
And I'm not mad at that at all.
No,
I was
me
just
either.
thinking like those types of things can be really tricky because then you identify with that and then that can set the tone for your future.
Okay. Did you really identify with that hard?
No, but I'm saying that it can be used that way where it's like, well, this is who I am. And then you kind of get stuck in this mold and not allow yourself to be flexible. So then like you find yourself in this position again. You're like, well, I am just this way.
That's a no. No.
Yeah.
No, we don't do that around here.
No, not around here.
No, but I could see what you mean. Yeah, I could really open that up, but I'm not gonna.
Okay.
Because I'm like, yeah. Anyway. Okay. Are you done with your thought? Okay. So the next one this is a funny one. So this is what my dad sent me. And this is kind of like kitschy, but whatever you set your mind to, you can accomplish. And I'll just give an example of that and I've seen this with other people and I'm like, he's not the only one that does this. obviously, but to see it in my reality presented in someone else, I was like, yo, this is a thing. So whenever my dad wants something, for example, a Ducati that he got or his Audi that he just bought, he always will have a picture of it. And this is just my dad's way. Have a photo of the Audi SQ8 specifically on his desktop computer. So he sees it every single day. It's a reminder for him. It's his new password for whatever it is, Netflix or something. And then he obviously puts the work in to get it, and he ends up getting it.
Yeah, it's really
with
cool.
most things. It is manifesting, and it's like so cute to see my dad doing that and to see his way to manifest. And in some way, like I do that too. Like I have my top 5 goals that I read every single morning for 2025. And I'm like, all right, let's fucking get this bag. Like I read them every day. So they're at top of mind for me. And I think like energetically speaking, it alters my decisions through the day because it's just always at top of mind. So I love that. And I've seen other people do this where they keep like pictures of things like their house that they want on their fridge or like wherever it is. I'm like, that is very cool to me. And I want to do that because it also gives you like belief in something bigger too. Like, oh, this is a larger goal that I'm going after. Let's go. Yeah.
Greg.
I
That's
know,
so cute
it's
to
so
me
cute.
that he'll like make his passwords that.
I know. You can always tell him like, Dad, you change your Netflix password again? It's not Ducati 19 anymore. Like it's something else. Damn it.
The last one I have is to always show affection.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And I grew up with him just being so loving and really setting the tone for creating like a safe space that like your nervous system feels regulated in. Because like the best thing for you can be like a hug. And I just really try to like give that to people now. And I know that a lot of times like that's what I need. Madison's like, what do you need right now? I'm like, a hug. I need a hug. So just recognizing that affection can be really huge. It can make you feel way less lonely, way more a part of a community, way safer. Like I just think on the peak days where I feel really stressed out, affection is the one thing that pulls me back down to earth.
Yeah, that makes sense because it makes you present in your body. And you've taught me that, which we've gone over on the podcast, is I did not grow up in an affectionate household. And when I started living with Tess, I was like, oh, okay, this is sick. Like I love a random hug. Like let's go. Yeah. So that's really nice. It does. It just makes you feel like special. And I think that is a human need also. Yeah. Yeah.
And I always think too, like there's not that many people on the planet that you can be very affectionate with.
Right.
Like
it's
for
true.
me, like the only person that I like go to bed with every single night and like kiss on the mouth and stuff is Philip. And like with him, I want to do as much of that as possible because he's the only person I do it with.
Yes. And I remember we've had this conversation and that makes me think about that on my end too. I'm like, that is why affection is one of my love languages or physical touches because you only have that one person that it's designated with. And if I chose a partner that did not show physical affection, I could not do that. That's just not for me.
No. But like if you ever observe me with my dad or my mom, I'm like always like I always want to touch them and like hang on them, or like with my friends I like play with their hair. I just like I'm very touchy with my chosen people.
Yeah.
I don't actually like to hug a lot of like I'll give you a hug of course, but like the reason I don't like that is because I don't like when your scent transfers onto me.
Dude, that's the gnarliest thing. We are so sensitive with scents. We point them out more than anyone I know. And then I think, oh my gosh, we're actually not normal. Like we'll be walking and it throws me off my whole thing. I'm like, I can't even think right now. Do you guys smell how strong that laundry detergent is? It's crazy. Even if someone walks into our house with a new scent, we're like, we talk about it after. We're like, dude, he needs to not wear that. What is that?
That's not good.
It's not good. You need to go on a few more dates with him and then tell him don't wear that cologne anymore.
Yes, that did come out of my mouth.
Yes.
Verbatim. How do you sit around that?
You're like, first off, how do you feel about that? I'm like, I don't know if it bugs me. And you're like, okay, well, it lasted in the apartment for a really long time after.
Like 2 days, okay?
Yeah, it like clings to things. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying is I don't really mind though, like when it's someone that I love. Like, for example, I was in Atlanta this past weekend and I got to like play with my best friend's hair. And like whatever hair product she was using, like I really liked the smell of it. I wouldn't choose it, but I'm like, oh, like it's
Yeah,
her.
it definitely depends. That's like when I walk into my sister's apartment and she has every scented candle ever from Home Goods. And I'm like, I would never. I love you. I would never. However, I love coming in here because it just smells like where I grew up, where my mom had those little things with the sticks from Pier 1 in every single bathroom. So toxic, but it smells like home to me.
Endocrine disruptor.
That's right.
101.
I'm like, is that why I started my period at 17? Crazy. No, but I will say though that my dad has bought, like, speaking of dads, is my dad bought some new, I don't know, deodorant, some cologne, something. And he was wearing it this last weekend when I was with him. And I was like, no, you can't. Like, I'm hiking behind him and I'm like, I'm suffocating.
Too strong.
Yes. Awful. Like, just go with your normal smell.
But then you'll smell something that's like maybe in the moment you didn't really love, like it was just too strong, but then you smell it years later in some other context and you're like, I miss that person.
Yeah.
Or I miss like, oh, that's
okay. Well, in 10 years, I'm sure that'll happen. But right now I'm like, can you not wear that around me?
Yeah.
Like, even if someone's chewing mint gum in a car, like I feel sick.
Really?
Yeah. It's so strong. Yeah.
Sense. Anything else on your list about dads?
Okay. Well, this is the last one that I'll say is, and I think that you do a really good job at explaining this, the 3 levels of awareness.
Oh, yeah. We were actually just talking about this not too long ago.
Yeah.
Not on the podcast, but in like personal life. Okay. I was just like, we didn't explain it on the podcast. We have before though.
Yeah, but we need to bring it back around.
Okay. This is a really cool one. Because I think it really helps you understand like people in general. And then have more compassion for people and also for yourself. So the 3 levels of awareness, he learned this in a gun safety course, correct? Okay. White, yellow, red. When you're in the white, you're oblivious. It's like you have blinders on or you're in like thick fog, right? Yes, snowstorm. Your level of awareness is just not present. You're like in your own world. Red, the opposite end, is you're very hyper vigilant. You're super aware of your surroundings to the point where it can even make you feel paranoid, stressed out, not present in your body in a good way. The yellow is the mix of the two. You found some middle ground of being aware of your surroundings, yet not paranoid, present in your body, ready for action, but not on heightened alert where you're like freaking yourself out.
Yes. Amazing. So we always say, gotta be in the yellow. Like if we're with my dad or Tess, it's always like in the yellow. That person's in the white.
That person is in the white.
That person is very much so in the white. I have an example of people in the white and you'll laugh about
cutting you off in the car. That's a huge one.
That's a huge one oh yeah. You can really spot it when you're in the car. Another one is Tess and I go on walks almost every single day. And Tess made a joke the other day, which is a KBS moment, kidding but serious. We are the only people that understand what single file is. We pull over for people. The people, just 2-3 of them, keep walking as if we're not even on the sidewalk. They're in the white. Notice your surroundings. If someone's going single file, how about you do the same? So we all can fit on the sidewalk. Notice. Have you guys been going single file? Are you also the only ones that engage in going single file on walks?
Or are you the person who acts like the Great Wall of China, blocking the entire sidewalk when people are trying to pass you?
Yes, like we're living in your world.
It's so rude.
It's so rude.
And we walk every single day for the most part, so then we're really attuned to it.
Yes.
And it's getting to the point where we're like, yeah, no worries.
Namaste, babe.
Yeah, it's all good.
That's what I'm saying.
Your world. Let me actually step into the street when there's an oncoming traffic.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, no. Keep walking.
There's a truck coming. No worries. I'll pull over and go in the way of the truck. Yeah, all good. Even when I'm running, people will not pull over for me. And I'm like...
Because they expect you to run around them.
Yes, but sometimes I'm like, there's not enough room. Like, I'll have to like literally shimmy and like move off to the side. I just want to like... bump them in the shoulder sometimes, but I don't, but I really want to sometimes. I'm like, that's when a little bit of the anger comes out where I'm like, yo, this is my world too. Get out of my way, please.
I'm so guilty of that.
Dude.
I'll bump shoulders with people. Like if I'm in the right mood.
My God. I think, did we share this on the podcast? Maybe not, but I'm going to bring it up again. Is we were at a bar in Encinitas, and we were there for a birthday. And it's crowded, super crowded. Everyone's dancing, really great. I'm standing next to Phil. Tess is standing not in the way, but people are walking towards her because the bar is super crowded. We're just shoulder to shoulder. And some guy walks by her and hits her pretty hard. And I look at her and she processes it in the moment and kind of like furrows her brow and then takes her elbow and just as hard as she can knocks him like literally super fucking hard and hits him, and he like moves back and he goes, "What the fuck?" And he turns to her, and then me and Phil are just looking at each other, and she goes, "I'm so sorry, that was an accident." And I'm like, and then the guy goes, "All right," and he just kept walking, and I look at Phil and he's like, "Almost had to just beat someone up for you." And I was like, damn, that was funny shit, where it just comes out and Tess is like, "Oh, you want to hit me? I'll hit you, motherfucker."
Look, if you got pushed into me, no biggie. This man did not get pushed.
It felt purposeful.
Because on the other side of him is my husband, and he didn't push him. Mm-hmm. So, no, you are not aware of your surroundings. You're living in the fucking white. Let me get you back into reality. Here's a dose of yellow. Yeah.
You might have had a bruise.
You're walking.
That's right. A dose of yellow. That's what's up, dude. If we use one of these clips for it, we're going to call it a dose of yellow. It's good shit. Damn. But yeah, all funny stuff. Mm-hmm. You know, dads, bring it all back around. We're so lucky to have them. I really do thank my lucky stars for having my dad. Like, I also always tell him, I'm like, we are soul bonded, like me and my dad. I feel that with you too, where it's like I've walked through every life like with this person, and I'm so grateful for all of you. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We've played with the idea of having them like actually on the podcast, and I still think that would be so cool. Mm-hmm. I think like you need to meet them. They're the best. Also, Madison's laugh is her dad's. So if you ever see Madison like hands on knees, like cackling, loud laugh, that is her dad's laugh, which is the best thing ever.
Yeah, that's cute.
Mm-hmm. Cut from the same cloth for sure. Mm-hmm. And I think a huge part of it is like our deep friendship and how easy it is for us to get along is because we were raised by them in very similar ways.
Yes.
Like even like what we did on the weekends was the same, or the movies we watched were the same, or their sense of humor is the same, or what they value in life is the same. Mm-hmm. Like there's a lot of parallels in our dads, which created a lot of parallels in us.
Yeah.
And beyond our dads, we have crazy parallels in our moms, where I'm like,
yes, where it's like there's another person. Yeah, like there's another person that understands what I'm going through. That is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, it's really lucky.
But
again, that's why it makes sense that we were paired in every lifetime. Like even if you were like my mom in one, or like you're my daughter in another lifetime, I don't know. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this lifetime they're like friends, podcast hosts. They live together, sisters.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's a sick one. Good choice.
Mm-hmm. That's been a fun one.
Yeah.
I hope that you guys took something away from our dads on this episode.
And also establish your theme for the week, because I really do think that it makes things, I don't know, it makes me more present in my week so I can experience things more deeply, I guess. And yeah, it's also like a really fun challenge. Like when you veer off the path of like, am I saying yes to life? And I'm like, no, I'm saying a big fuck no right now. All right, how are we going to get back?
Yes.
Yeah. It's totally a good little mission statement to have.
Well, we hope you have a great week. Thanks for listening to me cry.
Yeah, thanks for everything, for listening, for watching on YouTube. And yeah. Last thing I'll say is I was laughing with Tess about this before we recorded, is that I have an offer up, and I posted a photo of sandals that I'm trying to sell. One photo is with my foot in the sandal, and someone messaged me today asking, hey, are these still available? And I'm like, oh my God, he's wanting to buy. Yes, they're still available. Then he messages me again and says, hey, I don't want to come off as creepy or sounding weird, but you have really sexy, beautiful feet. And I'm just like, why is this happening to me? Am I calling this in? What's going on? Do you want the sandals or not? My feet have worn them. Does that increase the price or no? Come on.
I don't know.
Just want to sell these. I don't want
Everyone's
comments.
like, yeah. Cool sandals. Cool podcast.
What's your offer up? I'm going to add our feet finder. Straight up, I will. Why not? If that's what's happening.
Maybe there's little subliminal signs everywhere because that's what we're supposed to be focusing on.
Okay, well, I'm not going to solely focus on it. LOL to saying soul in it. It's funny. I'm not going to focus on it heavily, but we will get it up and running. All right, fine.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
Put some energy towards it, maybe.
I can do that. On my to-do list.
The only thing I'll say, and this is the last thing,
okay,
is like, I think in my head, Feet Finder was a lot more PG than what it really is. And when I first went on to make an account for us, I was like, oh,
scary.
Hold on. Like, this is territory I do not ever want to enter. And some of the dialogue that comes with that territory is like, people really are utilizing this. Like, you think, oh, it's just pictures of your feet, big deal. But like, people are really utilizing this content.
Fetish. But that's what I'm saying is I can handle the PR. I can handle that. If I see that, I'm just like, all right, what are you doing? Okay, that's fine. Like, pay me.
Know.
Thank you.
But like, there's some messages we've already had where I'm like,
dude, I know.
Stop.
I know. I know. So I'm fine. I'm like, okay, just thank you for the money. Just do what you will, okay? Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel any way. Because, like, people watch our YouTube and they see your foot and they're like, you know, whatever they do with that. So, you know?
Yeah. That's all.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Have a great week.
Yeah. Feet, you know? We're going to end it here. As you're, like, wiggling your toes.
Pull yours out, Madison.
No, I really don't.
It's gonna bump
I already
the views.
had the edge.
There it is. There it is. Okay, bye, you guys. Have a great week.
Oh my God. Okay, talk soon.